This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, and especially at the moment, I do hope you're well. Well, it's Monday, and as you know, at the beginning of the week, the front end of the week, I always put out some kind of solo analysis video, and today is no exception. Today we're looking at a solo by this lad that was on his band's first album, probably the most famous track off that album, you know the one I'm talking about. And I did a video on this song ages ago, years ago, but in that video I looked at the outro solo from the song. Today we're looking at the main solo in the middle of the song, and as always, here's the solo being demonstrated, and then a little bit of a breakdown of what's going on in that solo. Okay, as always, the best way to begin when you are trying to understand a solo is to look at the chords it's being played over. And the chords that we've got under the first part of this solo are D minor, C, B flat, and A7. So now let's have a look at the lick that's played over that, or the series of licks. We start with this bend here, which takes us to an A note, which is in the D minor chord. Then we land on that G note there, which is in the C chord. Then the F note, which is in the B flat chord. And then the E note, which is in the A7 chord. Okay. Then after that, we're still on the A7 chord here, which is basically just an A major, really. And we play just a simple A major arpeggio. Like that, just running up that little root, third, fifth, root, third, fifth, kind of arpeggio. Then when we reach this note here, bend it up a semitone. And as you can see there, that's just coming down a D minor chord. Straight out of that bar chord shape. So nice little pair of arpeggios that fit like a glove over the chords that are happening. The A7 going back to the D minor chord. Then after that D minor chord, the chord sequence has gone to a C again, so he lands on a C note. Then with the arrival of the B flat chord, he does that little flick off there to a B flat note, and then similar kind of thing there to land on the A note over the A7 chord. Then a little bit of kind of side slipping like that, basically just approaching that important A note there from a semitone above and below. Next up, we're on to a different part of the chord sequence where we go to an F chord. So if I take that F chord shape there and just play that part of it, and I can move it up an octave like this, then let's take this note here, take it down a tone, and then bend back up to it. We can get that kind of very pedal steel kind of thing, and as you can see, it's basically just part of an F chord. There we go. Then after the F chord, the chord sequence goes to a C. So the main part of that lick, the skeleton that it's hanging on, is that little kind of 3-note run there, which is a C chord. You see what he's doing here? He's using just essentially notes from the underlying chords, and where he needs a note or two to just kind of plug a hole, he's just thinking in terms of D minor pentatonic, because that is essentially the tonality of the tune, or F major pentatonic. So after we've got the we now have this bend here, this C note going up to a D. Notice that B flat note there, and we're using the bend up to the D note. Well, B flat and D are both notes from a B flat major chord, which is the chord we're playing over. Then just a little D minor pentatonic thing, because we're playing over a D minor chord at this point. Straight out of that position 1 D minor pentatonic shape. Then we're into the final stretch of the solo, where we're on a B flat chord, and he simply plays a B flat triad down here, like that. Slides it up to a C. Then plays that little run there, which is basically essentially the notes of E, F and G. Okay, the E and the G are notes from the C chord, and the F note is just a natural note in between, because that's in the D minor chord, which is, as I say, the overall tonality of the piece. And then we do that little thing again like that, the B flat chord up to the C, and then we're still over a C chord here, so he plays like a C major pentatonic lick. Okay, that is just straight out of that little C major pentatonic pattern there. And then the famous riff that appears throughout the song, which is just a D minor triad to a C major triad to a B flat major triad. Again, we're sort of moving with the chords in the chord sequence here. And then up to the C chord, and adding that little sus4 in there. See, the chords we've got there are D minor, C, B flat, and back to C again. So D minor, C, B flat, then C with that little sus4 thing again, and then a couple of little triads up there, and F, and then resolving to the C again. And then we do that little descending triad thing again. And we're over a C major chord here again at the end of that, so he plays another little C major pentatonic run. And then you're back into the next verse of the song. So hopefully that gives you some insight into what is happening in this rather fantastic little solo. So there you have it. Not really a great deal to wrap your head around in this one. All you've got to do is think in terms of D minor pentatonic, because, you know, that's the tonality for the overall solo, and then just whereabouts are the notes that are in the underlying chords, and, you know, adding those into your pentatonic, and then a couple of little triad ideas that essentially go along with the chord sequence that you're playing over, and boom, you're sorted. As always, as a special thank you to my wonderful Patreon supporters, there is a full tab in both Guitar Pro and PDF format up on my Patreon page, along with a jam track to play along with, and that little explanation kind of breakdown thing there for you to watch as many times as you want. And that's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks, other than to mention, don't forget the t-shirts. All of the monies from that I would receive from the sale of these t-shirts will go to Zoe's Place Baby Hospice, a charity in Middlesbrough, which does fantastic work with very seriously ill young children. So buy a t-shirt, support a good cause. The live stream on Friday, you all know about that by now, but I'll plug it in every video. 5 PM UK time on a Friday, we have a beer and a laugh and a chat, and it's a great way of kicking off the weekend, so watch out for the notification of that. And the only way you're going to get a notification of that is if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you haven't already done so, it is much appreciated if you could do that, and why not give me a like while you're at it. And don't forget, if you're thinking of pulling the trigger on a Fret Zealot tuition device, you can get a little bit of money knocked off using this discount code you can see on screen right now. There's a purchase link in the description, and just use the discount code and you'll get one a little bit cheaper, thanks to me. You're welcome. And with that, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time around. Bye for now, folks.